back to the Event House channel, your home for all things hospitality. I'm your host, Jill Goldfine. Today, we are celebrating July 4th. And just like baseball, there is nothing more American than a good cheesesteak. Today, you will see my interview with the Furlough Brothers, Sam and Mike, who have made an amazing cheesesteak business during their pandemic layoffs. I just can't get past how much I love their name. Talk about making something great and delicious out of a terrible year. Cheesesteaks is their game, and here's their story. Well, hello. Here with me is our Sam and Mike from Furlough Brothers. I'm so happy to meet you. Thank you for being here today.
Very excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. I can't wait to hear your story. The first thing I need to ask before we get into the history, but I have to ask how you came up with this name. I just love it.
So we worked together at a hotel here in Dallas for about 2 years. And like a lot of people across the country and across the world in the hospitality and service industry, we got furloughed at the same time. And I think that we both always wanted to do something like this and start our own place. And it just never really seemed that realistic until we kind of sat down and talked about it and thought about our options. And then we figured that this name would really, I mean, it's catchy, but it also helps us tell our story. And that's kind of what we wanted to do.
And I think it's also relatable with a lot of food service professionals that were furloughed during this time.
I love how you embraced it. Why don't we dive in? If you could tell me, you said you have a hotel hospitality background, but in what capacity? And were you at the same hotel? Are you professional colleagues?
Yeah, that's how we met. We worked at the Hilton Anatole here in Dallas. And Mike is the chef of the operation, and I was always more front of house, floor management, restaurant management, bar management. I worked a little bit in stewarding and in meeting setup for events. And that's kind of what I've done over the since 2012. That's what I've been. So I've always been front of house, guest facing, and then chef has been in the kitchen, cooking and everything like that.
I've been in the business since I was 15 years old, starting as a dishwasher in a small mom and pop restaurant in Arlington, Virginia.
Oh, nice.
And that's really where I got started. And I started as a dishwasher, and the owner offered me to cook, and I just loved the kitchen and everything that goes on in the kitchen, and just being able to pump out orders. And from there, I worked for Marriott for 12 years, worked my way up to the senior sous chef of the Gaylord National. And then I came down. I actually became the executive chef at George Mason University for a while, and then I came down here to Dallas as the executive banquet chef at the Hilton Anatole. So it's been a great trip and a great journey.
Wow. Well, it looks like you're well on your way. Your website is up and going, and looks like you're taking orders. So that's exciting.
Yes, very, very excited. Ready to get rolling.
So tell me, 2020 hit, you both were furloughed, and then you were friends outside of the hotel, I guess?
Yeah, so we had hung out outside of work a couple times. And then, once we were furloughed, honestly, it was like this awakening, I guess, because, it's very difficult to take time off and have a lot of free time when you're working in the hospitality and service industry. Especially at a really busy hotel like we were working at. So, the first couple, I would say the first month or two, once we were furloughed, it was really just like, hey, this is what life is like when you're not working 60 hours a week. I realized that we wanted to have that balance that we were experiencing for the first time. Then we started talking about doing something like this.
And I think it started, we were out camping actually in Oklahoma once we got furloughed, and we decided to just go and spend a week in Oklahoma and just
good for
camp
you.
And
clear your head.
I think that's where the idea of Versus first started. We were like, what are we doing now? I mean, this is at a point where we've never had that much time off on our hands, and it got to a point where we're like, what's next? Let's find something to do. And after some thought and a couple of drinks, we both sat down and we decided to go through with it.
Thanks.
And so what is your cheesesteak passion, background with that? Do either of you, Mike, you mentioned you're from Arlington, Virginia. Sam, I don't know where you are from originally, but do you have roots in Philadelphia, the famous home of cheesesteaks?
No roots exactly in Philadelphia, but I'm from Northern Virginia as well, right outside Washington, D.C. And so it's the Northeast. It's 2.5 hours from Philly. We've experienced good Philly cheesesteaks before, and Chef can speak a lot to the kind of what pushed him culinary in the direction that he did for a lot of our recipes. But we just figured that it's a very approachable sandwich. Nobody's ever like, oh, I don't like cheesesteaks. Most people are excited to eat a cheesesteak.
Yes.
And you can do a lot of things from that. You can take it in a lot of different directions.
Well, another thing is we looked at the food scene in Dallas, and we really didn't see like a good Philadelphia cheesesteaks. There's a lot of sub restaurants that sell different subs, and cheesesteak just happens to be one of the things that they offer on the menu. And we wanted to kind of highlight it and make it a superstar that we know a cheesesteak can be. Instead of using like the frozen meat that comes in pre-portioned, pre-done, we're going with a different direction of just fresh meats we're slicing like fresh. It doesn't get frozen at any point. And we portion it ourselves. We season it ourselves. Our cheese sauce, which is our play on a Cheese Whiz, it's all homemade. We're pretty much doing a bechamel with just different flavors in there and cheese. I think we reached a recipe that we really like. That's going to be light. None of our sandwiches will come with cheese on them. Everything will come with the cheese sauce on the side for our customers to either lay it on or dip it or however they want. But yeah, that's the direction. We wanted to do different cheesesteaks, not just your regular meat, onions, and mushrooms. So we wanted to do a couple of different fun ones, like our bulgogi cheesesteak, which I think is going to be a great hit. So a little play on Korean barbecue. We've got the al pastor cheesesteak, which is going to be in a burrito, but still comes with cheese sauce, still goes with the same thing. And then we've got a couple of fun things that we just, while playing around, we decided to do, which is our mac and cheese calzone, which will
saw
have
that online. Wow.
And that will still have the meat in it, the peppers and everything. And it's something fun. And then both of our favorites is our mac and cheese muffin. So loaded mac and cheese muffin. So, just we really want to have fun with this.
Well, now then would be a great time for me to share my screen. Here is one of your masterpieces.
And that's bulgogi.
Oh, it looks amazing. Yes, I can see the cheese sauce oozing out the side. It looks incredible.
Thank you.
And I have another one of you making the cheese sauce, it looks like. This is a great action shot. In the kitchen. There you go. Masked up, all appropriate for COVID.
There we go. Up close and personal there.
They look absolutely delicious, completely mouthwatering, and I love the variety that you have created. Very unique twist on an already delicious, well-known item, but you have definitely made it your own. Tell me, from a business standpoint, this is all very new, and while you have kitchen and front of house experience, I'm sure that you have learned plenty of new skills in creating something of your own.
So, we like we said, we wanted to do this for a while, but the more that we started doing from conversation to, actualizing something like this, we realized really quick that we probably wouldn't have been able to do this 5 years ago. It actually started as a food truck idea, and that's what we wanted to do.
Okay.
And so, but as we did a little bit more research, and kind of looked at the rules, regulations, ordinances in the city of Dallas, it's not
the most
food truck friendly environment.
Oh, okay.
So as far as like, cities like Austin or San Diego or New Orleans, where they thrive on that kind of that culture, that food truck culture, it's not really as prominent maybe yet here in Dallas. And then one day somebody just asked me, said, why are you doing a food truck? Why don't you just do something for delivery and carry out only? And all it took was that question. And we were both like, why not? Why don't we do something like that? So, and now we're part of this ghost kitchen concept called Cloud Kitchens. And it's basically, it's a huge warehouse that has 36 different 300 square foot kitchens. They have a system set up with food runners, and so the drivers, so we'll be on all of the major delivery apps, so Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, Postmates, and through our website as well. And so drivers can come up, they sign in, grab their orders, and head out. And so
so they come, the drivers come to your kitchen location. You're here to pick up food for a consumer at home. So it's not a walk-up window.
Correct. That's okay. The majority of the orders. Now it's for delivery and carry out as well. So people can order through any of those apps and come and pick it up themselves. But most of it's going to be delivery. So, but yeah, there's a little lobby in the front, and the drivers come in and the customers come in and grab the order and head out, and we just keep cooking.
That's amazing.
It's really interesting because they basically give you a shell of a kitchen. They gave us empty kitchen, and it comes with a 3-compartment sink and a hood system, and we kind of fill it out from there. So, once again, that's something, we've experienced, or we've dealt with all of the appliances that are in here, but going and picking it out yourself and figuring out exactly what you need to run your operation was something, brand new to both of us.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, though, from working in kitchens my whole career, you don't realize how expensive the equipment is, how much care you need to put into it, and for the investment.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different when a Marriott is doing it. They're, a huge conglomerate.
Yeah, their checkbook's a little bit bigger.
Right. That's true.
For now.
And so the next steps then?
We're ready to go on all of the delivery platforms. We're really excited. We were able to launch our website, and so everything is ready to go. Our social media sites have been up, and we've been posting.
I do have to ask,
thank you.
Have either of you been called back to work, or is that off the table now?
So I was called back in June, and I worked for June through October. Because at the time the hotel had the water park open, so they needed a chef to come and help out with that. So that's when I went back. And then our idea for the business has already grown into getting it launched and started. So I decided to step back and really invest all of my time into this with Sam.
And how about you, Sam?
I have not been called back yet to this point.
Okay. Yeah. It's such a devastating situation for so many.
It really is. It was one day you're at 90% occupancy, and the next day it was 19, just like that. So just going from that to nothing was shocking.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Nothing that anybody could have ever dreamt up as happening.
Right.
And here we are living through it, and you have made this amazing business out of this unforeseen time that you have. So thank you. Cool. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us on.